the clockmaker's choice. Elias lived in the quiet tick-tock of his own making. His clock shop, wedged between a bustling laundromat and a perpetually closed bakery, was a sanctuary of brass gears and polished wood. He was a master craftsman, a man who believed that time was not a river, but a series of precise interlocking moments. But that belief shattered the day his wife, Lena, was gone, leaving behind only the scent of lavender and a clock he had been building just for her. The clock was his magnum opus, a towering thing of mahogany and silver filigree. He hadn't touched it in a year, unable to face the ticking monument to his grief. But one rainy Tuesday, a sudden leak in the roof forced his hand. He carefully moved the clock, and as he did, his elbow bumped against a loose lever on its side. There was a faint click, and the shop's ordinary clamor, the street sounds, the drip of the rain, faded into a soft hum. A wisp of a memory so vivid it felt real filled the air. It was the scent of bread and butter, the sound of Lena's hum as she watered the window plants. Confused, Elias checked the clock. The hands were spinning backward, not wildly, but with a steady, purposeful grace. He nudged the lever again, and the world snapped back to the present. He had stumbled upon a flaw, a curious and impossible quirk in his finest creation. The clock didn't just tell time. It could, for a few short moments, turn it back. At first, he only used it for small things. He would rewind 5 minutes to find a misplaced screwdriver or to hear a piece of music on the radio again. But the temptation grew. One day, with a heavy heart, he pulled the lever and thought of the morning she had left. The shop transformed. The dust vanished, replaced by the warm glow of the morning sun. There by the window was Lena, humming her quiet tune, her face turned to the light. He couldn't touch her, of course. He was a ghost in this brief, rewinded moment. He could only watch, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. The world was full of vibrant color, not the gray he had been living in. He could hear her voice, a gentle murmur of a forgotten phrase. He found himself hitting the lever over and over, replaying the same morning, the same precious minutes, just to see her once more. He fell into a pattern, a quiet addiction. The hum of the clock became his solace. But each time he returned to the present, the silence was louder. The shop felt emptier. The memories, once a source of comfort, became a cage. He was no longer living. He was just waiting for the next moment he could rewind. One afternoon, a young boy entered the shop, his face streaked with tears. His grandfather's old pocket watch, a family heirloom, had stopped working. He said you were the only one who could fix it. The boy sobbed. Elias, caught in the grip of his own grief, almost turned him away. But he looked at the boy's earnest, hopeful face and saw a reflection of himself. Someone holding on to a piece of the past, desperate not to let it go. He took the watch and began to work. As he mended the tiny gears, he realized something. Time could not be fixed. It could not be rewound. It could only be moved forward. His special clock was a beautiful lie, a comfort that was slowly stealing his life. With a final, decisive click, he put the boy's watch back together. Later that evening, he went to the grand mahogany clock he had built for Lena. He thought of her face, of her laugh, of the love that had filled their lives. He thought of the future, a path that stretched ahead, empty but for the hope of new moments. He reached for the loose lever, and with a deep breath, he pulled it free. He didn't turn back time. He simply let it go. The clock would never hum backward again. But as he looked out into the quiet twilight, he noticed the world wasn't gray anymore. The streetlights flickered to life, and the ticking of his other clocks filled the silence. A gentle and steady rhythm, a promise of tomorrow.